Hello there, everybody. Adam Cleary here, and have we got an absolute perler for you today. In short, the complexion of NXT, everybody's favourite plaything, was nearly so different. In 2012, that's the year the current incarnation of NXT began, Rob Naylor, who was Dusty Rhodes' right-hand man, was asked by Triple H's people for a big list of who they should go out and sign, and that list is f***ing crazy. Now, they did manage to go out and get a few of them, as you'll see in a bit, but those they didn't are some of the people partially responsible for both the indie scene and New Japan blowing up in the last few years. So basically, there is an alternative timeline out there where WWE currently has no competition, and this proves it. Anyway, yes, let's have a look. This is WWE's crazy NXT wish list from 2012. Number 1, El Generico, the first of many people on this list who actually signed with NXT. That's Sami Zayn. In case you didn't know, the guy proved Jim Cornette wrong, lol. Imagine, by successfully taking off the mask and becoming an absolute joy of an all-rounder. Number 2, the BRISCOE brothers. Now, this was a bit of an optimistic pick, as they both had tryouts with WWE the year prior to this, and their rejection from which led to the most morbidly hilarious promo where they went after David Otunga. Actually, not so much David Otunga as his now ex-wife, who Mark claimed looked better when she was a fat bitch. Bit much. Number 3, Adam Cole, of course, Adam Cole was on this list. He is the reincarnation of Shawn Michaels himself. Shawn Michaels isn't dead, though, so he would have been an absolute office popper at the time. You suspect his inclusion was as much to appease Vince as it was for Dusty, but fair he is really good. Number 4, Ricochet, and splatter my platter, lads. How different would the entire conversation about wrestling style have been had Ricochet ended up in NXT in 2012? There would have been no Best of the Super Juniors final with Ospreay, and thus no incredibly tiresome patter about flippy shit. Number 5, Prince Devitt, and yes, of course, WWE had the future Finn Balor in their sights for years before they actually signed him, but he decided off his own back to go get a bit more experience, become a better all-rounder before he signed on the dotted line. Since then, he's not quite hit the heights they would have expected for him, but there is still both the time and the talent. Number 6, Kenny Omega. Yes, 6 1/4 nearly became 50-50. Christ, back in 2012, but his inclusion here is very optimistic on WWE's part. He always harbored dreams of conquering Japan, and he'd already done ye olde developmental, and back then NXT still wasn't that different. The story goes from Kenny's time in developmental that Bill DeMott, the head trainer, simply did not fancy him because he wasn't willing to suck up to him. Now, if that's true, the man is thicker than a prison door, and they did well to get shot of him in 2015. Number 7 is KARL Anderson, which makes quite a lot of sense because in 2012 he was a man firmly on the up, having narrowly lost to Okada in the G1 Climax final. In 2016, he bypassed NXT entirely, debuted on the main roster, and it hasn't quite worked out yet. Number 8 is Alex Shelley, who is a man who was plagued by injuries as the decade he influenced took shape around him. As a result, he never really reached the heights that were expected of him, but none of his peers did either, so he probably isn't bothered. Whatever, he had a nice career in TNA and Ring of Honor, so it's better than I'm doing. Number 9 is CHRISTINA von EERIE, and with Paige already occupying the alternative girl slot in both NXT and my heart, her name has never really re-entered the conversation for WWE since. Also, maybe because the standard of international women's wrestling has improved so much in the intervening years, she's kind of been left behind. Number 10, COLT CABANA, and in fairness, by the time this list came out, Vince had probably forgotten who Scotty Goldman was, so fair play to Naylor for trying to slip him back through the cracks. He never made it though, but nothing is spoiling because his independent career is now the stuff of legend. Number 11, Samurai Del Sol. That is Kalisto. Yep, on a list with Omega, Balor, Ricochet, and Adam Cole, the first person WWE went after on this list was f***ing Kalisto. To be fair to him though, he's arguably the most successful WWE performer on this list. 2-time United States champion, 1-time Cruiserweight champion, Slammy Award winner. It's more than Balor's done. Number 12, UHAA Nation. UHAA Nation? I was never sure, but either way, the renamed Apollo Crews was presented to Vince as the platonic ideal of what a WWE superstar was meant to look like back in 2012. But now he occupies this really weird perennial loser spot on the roster. There's a recurring theme here, isn't there? You reckon if Steve Austin came up in this generation, he'd be trading wins with Baron Corbin? Number 13 is Harlem Bravado, which is a sensational ring name for a fairly good in-ring worker. Sadly, he's part of a generation that just feels left behind in the last couple of years. He's been in Dragon Gate USA and Evolve, which is nowhere near the big time this inclusion suggested. Number 14 is Lancelot Bravado, and I'm now absolutely devastated these two didn't make it to WWE, because can you imagine Howard Finkel trying to introduce them? Actually, I can do better than imagine it. Wait there. Right, come on, right. Okay, do the thing.
Do the thing.
Do the thing. Yeah, where's the mic?
Ladies and gentlemen, making their way to the ring, the team of Harlem and Lancelot, the Bravado Brothers.
I'll do. Thank you.
Gang.
Number 15 is Tommaso Ciampa, and if he's anything like the kind of heel we hope he is, expect him to be retweeting this list while poking fun at Johnny Gargano's omission from it. Then, I don't know, maybe puts Candice on his own Amazon wish list. Whatever, it'll be a good tweet. Number 16 is Kyle O'Reilly, who did eventually sign with NXT in 2017, and, to be fair, looks very well positioned to succeed both there and on the main roster. We worked with him very briefly on the WCPW World Cup thing last year, and I can confirm he's a bloody lovely bloke. That's all I've got. Number 17 is Bobby Fish, and hilariously and unnecessarily, Naylor has felt the need just to add this little caveat next to Bobby Fish's name, which is just the words hard worker in brackets next to his name. 17, Bobby Fish, brackets, hard worker. He's not done it for anybody else, he's just given Bobby Fish a little pat on the head in case the office weren't convinced by him. Hey, at least these days you'll have Fire War Games match next to his name instead. Number 18 is ACH, who is currently turning all kinds of heads in New Japan Pro Wrestling, although the slightly controversial nature of his exit from Ring of Honor, Google it if you don't know what I'm talking about, might lead WWE to question his attitude. Seriously, Google that. That said though, if they do ever exhume the Cruiserweight Classic, there's a chance we could see him in that. Number 19 is Tyson Dukes, and while he never made it to NXT, he was selected as first round cannon fodder for the Cruiserweight Classic. Couldn't have made much of an impression though, as he wasn't one of the 800 people they signed in the immediate aftermath. However, from the WCPW World Cup Tour, yes, that again, I can tell you that in the great city of Toronto, the guy is more over than Bret Hart. Last and, well, least is Josh Alexander, who, while a very talented worker, is a perennial fixture on the B-level indie circuit now. So yeah, probably missed the boat entirely. Don't know what you want to do with that news. Sit down, cup of chamomile, don't know, long nap, just look after yourself, you'll be fine. So yes, there you go. Those are the 20 people that Dusty Rhodes' team told Triple H's team to go out and get for NXT in 2012. The very definition of hit, miss, and Apollo Crews. Let us know what you make of all of that by leaving a comment below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Until next time, my name has been Adam Cleary. Thank you for joining us on this journey, and I'll see you soon.
Hi guys, thanks for watching the video. You got all the way to the end, well done. You can subscribe, of course, down here, watch more videos like that over here, or check out some of our other channels over there. Or you can click up here and just search for some weird stuff. We all do it, I know I do.